Comfort is a liar. It whispers to you that you've done enough. It tells you that you deserve rest before you've earned victory. It convinces you that average is acceptable. But let me tell you something. Greatness never grew in the arms of comfort. Every time you hesitate, every time you settle, every time you say, "I may be later," comfort wins. And when comfort wins, you lose. You weren't designed to blend in. You were made to push, to grind, to break through, not just break even. Look around. The people you admire didn't get there by playing it safe. They didn't scroll their way to success. They bled for it. They sacrificed for it. They pushed past the pain, the fear, the failure. And you will too, if you stop believing the lie that comfort is your friend. Comfort is a cage, and every time you choose it over challenge, you add another bar to your prison. Do you want change? Do you want progress? Then you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to embrace the suck, because the pain you feel in the process, that's growth. Oh, that's the fire that sharpens your edge. So get up, push harder, train longer, wake up earlier. Let the hunger keep you moving when comfort begs you to quit. Comfort pretends to be your friend. It shows up with soft words, convincing you that you've earned a break, that it's okay to take it easy, that you've done enough for today. It sounds like kindness, but it's quiet sabotage. Comfort doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about the fire inside you. It only cares about keeping things as they are. It thrives in stillness and hesitation, in that voice that says, maybe tomorrow. And here's the dangerous part. It feels good. That's what makes it so powerful. It offers instant relief, but it comes at the cost of long-term progress. Comfort tells you to hit snooze instead of getting up early. It tells you to skip the workout to avoid the difficult conversation, to stay where it's safe instead of reaching for more. Every time you give in, it gets stronger. Every time you choose easy over effort, it learns your weakness. Comfort doesn't push you. It pacifies you. It lulls you into believing that where you are is good enough, and the minute you buy into that, you stop climbing, you stop fighting, you stop becoming. That's how comfort wins. Not with a shout, but with a whisper that sounds like peace but leads to regret. It's not the loud struggles that kill dreams, it's the quiet comforts. The ones you make excuses for, the ones you defend. The ones that feel like self-care but are really self-sabotage in disguise. Comfort isn't evil, but it's not your ally in the pursuit of greatness. It's the slow fate of potential. Growth doesn't happen where it's easy. Nothing powerful ever developed without pressure. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Minds don't sharpen without challenge. Spirit doesn't strengthen without struggle. But comfort is the opposite of resistance. It's the absence of demand. It's where you coast, not where you climb. The comfort zone is quiet, predictable, safe. It's familiar, and that familiarity feels good. But it's also where dreams go to die slowly. In that space, nothing changes. You stay who you are, where you are, doing what you've always done. And the longer you stay there, the harder it gets to remember that you were made for more. You don't stretch in comfort. You don't break limits. You don't discover new strength. Real growth happens the moment you step into discomfort. When you take on something that scares you. When you push through what you thought was your limit. When you fall and choose to rise again. That's where growth lives, on the edge, in the chaos, in the resistance. The comfort zone tells you that you're okay as you are, but growth says, you're not done yet. It demands more. It demands effort. It demands discipline. And it doesn't come dressed in ease. It shows up wearing pressure, uncertainty, fatigue. It shows up when you're tired but keep going anyway. When you want to quit but push one more time. If you want to grow, you have to let go of comfort. Because comfort protects who you are, but growth builds who you could become. Settling isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose. Average doesn't chase you down. You walk into it. You agree to it every time you lower the bar. Every time you say this is good enough when you know you're capable of more. People act like mediocrity is a default setting. It's not. It's a decision. A quiet one. One that doesn't scream, it whispers. It sounds like, at least I tried. Or maybe this is just how it is. But that's a lie. You weren't born to blend in. There's nothing about you that was designed for ordinary. Look at everything it took to get you here. Every breath, every heartbeat, every second you've survived. That wasn't so you could coast. That wasn't so you could stop at halfway. Settling happens when your desire to stay comfortable outweighs your hunger to become something more. It's when you stop demanding more from yourself because the work got hard, or the climb got steep, or the results didn't come fast enough. But the ones who rise, they don't stop because it's tough. They lean into it. They know that being average is easy, and anything easy usually isn't worth it. If you feel stuck, if you feel like life is on repeat, check your standards. Check what you're accepting from yourself. Settling might feel like relief in the moment, but it will haunt you in the long run. Because deep down, you'll always know you could have done more. And that knowing, that's the weight that never leaves. Pain is part of the process. Discomfort is the price of evolution. There's no version of growth that doesn't hurt a little, sometimes a lot. You can't get stronger without tension. You can't build anything meaningful without pressure. That's not a punishment, it's the path. Too many people run at the first sign of resistance. They think pain means something's wrong. But what if it means you're getting closer? What if the burn in your lungs, the ache in your soul, the stretch in your limits, what if that's exactly where transformation begins? Everyone wants results. Everyone wants success. But very few are willing to endure what it takes to earn it. They want the reward without the sacrifice, the peak without the climb. But it doesn't work that way. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's uncomfortable. When you're tired. When you're doubting yourself but show up anyway. That's when you start to level up. The discomfort you're avoiding, that's the weight that makes you stronger. That's the breaking point where you either fold or forge yourself into something new. You think you're protecting yourself by avoiding pain, but really you're delaying your potential. You're pausing your progress. Growth is supposed to feel like something. It's supposed to shake you. It's supposed to challenge every version of who you were before. Discomfort is the price you pay to become unrecognizable to your old self. And the more you're willing to lean into it, the more unstoppable you become. Look at the people who have what you want. The ones who seem unstoppable. The ones who turn pain into power. They didn't get there because it was handed to them. They didn't stumble into greatness. They built it, brick by brick, with blood in their mouths and grit in their bones, and grit in their bones. Success looks shiny from the outside, but behind every win is 100 quiet losses, sleepless nights, sacrificed weekends, missed parties, doubts, failures, people telling them to quit, people laughing, people walking away, and they kept going anyway. That's the difference. Oh, they chose the long road, the hard road. The one that didn't give instant results, but carved out long-term impact. They chose the path that forced them to grow, because they understood something most people miss. The process is the prize. The struggle is what sharpens you. Without it, the success doesn't even feel real. They didn't make excuses. They didn't need perfect conditions. They showed up tired. So they worked when it was inconvenient. They did what others wouldn't so they could live how others couldn't. Their greatness wasn't born. It was forged in the fire of commitment. So when you see someone winning, don't envy the spotlight. Understand the shadows they came from. Don't wish for their life. Learn from their discipline. Greatness doesn't come from what you do once. It comes from what you're willing to do daily when no one's watching, and everything in you says to stop. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you reinforce the walls that hold you back. Oh, you don't even notice it at first. It's subtle. You say just this once. You skip the workout. You delay the decision. You avoid the tough conversation. And in the moment, it feels harmless. But those moments add up. One excuse becomes two. One compromise becomes a pattern. Before you know it, you're not stuck because of some outside force. You're stuck because you trained yourself to avoid pressure. You're teaching your mind that it's okay to retreat. You're programming your habits to chase relief instead of results. And the more you do it, the more natural it feels.
Ooh.
That's how mental and emotional limitations are built. Not in huge, dramatic failures, but in tiny acts of surrender that compound over time. Comfort rewards you with short-term ease, but long-term regret. And the trap is, it's seductive. It wraps itself in logic. I'm tired. I deserve a break. I'll do it tomorrow. But that voice isn't your protector. It's your limiter. It doesn't want you to evolve. It wants you to repeat. And if you're not careful, you start to identify with it. You start to believe that your limits are real, that your potential has a ceiling, that maybe you're just not one of those people. But the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the next level is the comfort you keep defending. Every time you choose the easier path, you shrink your confidence and stretch your excuses. Every time you lean into the hard thing, even just a little, you expand. You become more. And that version of you, that's the one you're really after. Success doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for you to be in the mood. It doesn't knock politely. It shows up when you push past what's comfortable and step into intensity. That's the difference. Not talent, not luck, not even timing. It's the intensity behind your effort that separates winners from wishers. Most people do just enough to feel like they're working, but not enough to actually change. They move slow. They do the bare minimum. They pace themselves like they've got forever. But intensity doesn't waste time. Intensity shows up like it's already late. Intensity is urgency, focus, hunger all rolled into one. You've got goals, then you need to go at them like they're oxygen. Not when it's convenient. Not when you're in the mood. Right now. Full speed. No half effort. No, I'll start next week. You can't coast your way to transformation. You can't casually approach a life you were born to dominate. You have to attack it. Intensity doesn't mean you never rest. It means when it's time to go, you go. No distractions. No delays. No doubt. It means you show up with purpose. You train like it matters. You work like someone's chasing you. Because they are all the versions of you that stayed stuck and all the people who quit when it got tough. You don't need more motivation. You need to flip the switch. You need to decide that average isn't enough. You need to treat your dream like it's life or death, because in a way, it is. Oh. It's the life you could be living, dying a little more every time you choose to go easy. Discomfort isn't just a phase. It's a mindset. It's not something you go through once and then graduate from. It's something you learn to live with, something you learn to lean into. Because if you're serious about leveling up, you don't just tolerate discomfort, you chase it. You understand that the very things that make most people back off are the exact things that will move you forward. People talk about change like it's a moment, one decision, one breakthrough, one big risk. But real change isn't a spark, it's a fire you keep feeding, day after day, step after step, even when it's painful, especially when it's painful. Because discomfort is the signal that you're not standing still anymore. It's proof you're stepping beyond the line of who you were yesterday. But most people have it backwards. They think discomfort is a warning sign to turn around. They see fear and doubt and struggle and think, maybe this isn't for me. What they don't realize is, that's the sign you're on the right path. Growth doesn't feel like peace. It feels like pressure. It feels like stretching, breaking, rebuilding, or building. It feels like walking into the unknown with your heart pounding and your hand shaking, and doing it anyway. You have to want that. Not just want the outcome. Want the climb. Want the fight. Want the fire. Because that's what makes you unshakable. That's what sharpens your focus and burns away weakness. When you choose discomfort over and over again, it becomes your edge, your weapon, your standard. You stop fearing hard things because hard things become normal. That mindset, that's where the shift happens. That's where winners are born. Hunger and discipline are what separate those who want it from those who get it. Motivation, that comes and goes. It's unreliable. It shows up when things feel good, when the sun's out, when the playlist hits right, and the mood is high. Then get these. But when it's cold, when you're tired, when the world's quiet and no one's watching, motivation disappears. That's where hunger takes over. Hunger isn't loud, it's constant. It's that burning your chest that won't let you quit even when your body says stop. It's what drags you out of bed before the alarm goes off. It's what keeps you grinding long after the excitement fades. Hunger doesn't need hype. It needs purpose. It needs a why that's bigger than comfort, stronger than fear, and deeper than convenience. And hunger by itself isn't enough. It needs discipline to back it up. Discipline is the structure that carries hunger when your feelings betray you. Discipline says, I don't care if you don't feel like it. We're doing it anyway. Oh. It's showing up over and over again, regardless of the circumstances. It's doing the work on the good days and the brutal days. It's locking in your focus when distractions try to pull you away. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. People wait for motivation like it's the green light to act. But champions don't wait. They move. They act without permission. They train without applause. They keep going when there's no reward in sight because they understand this truth. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never get anywhere worth going. Hunger is internal. No one can give it to you. No speech. No quote. No video. It's either in you or it isn't. And discipline? Discipline is a decision. Every single day. Do you hit snooze or do you rise? Do you scroll or do you build? Do you coast or do you conquer? Hunger is what keeps you dreaming. Discipline is what makes it real. Together, they're unstoppable. Without them, you're just hoping. And hope, without action, without consistency, without grind, is just fantasy dressed in good intentions. So stop looking for motivation to carry you. You've already got what you need, a fire inside, and the choice to feed it or let it fade. You've been chasing something for so long, haven't you? That goal, that dream, that life you know you're capable of. But here's the hard truth. No one is coming to hand it to you. No one's going to show up with a bow on your success and say, "Here you go. You earned it. You've got to go get it." And not just on the days that are easy or the days when everything feels aligned. You've got to push harder than that. You've got to demand more from yourself when the world says, "Stop," when the path gets tough, when the finish line feels miles away. The truth is, the people who achieve massive success don't do it because they have it easy. They do it because they refuse to let discomfort stop them. They push when others rest. They keep grinding when the road is long and the results aren't instant. They are relentless. They don't just try harder. They push harder every single day. They understand that success is not a destination you reach by taking the easy route. It's a journey carved out of sacrifice, commitment, and endurance. And it's in the pushing where greatness lives. It's not in the waiting, it's not in the hoping, it's in the act of pushing through when every ounce of your body says to quit. It's in the days when you feel like you're getting nowhere, but you keep pushing anyway. It's in those moments that define you, not the moments when everything is perfect, but the moments when everything is falling apart. And yet you decide to keep fighting. You decide that nothing is going to stop you. Comfort will lie to you. It will tell you that you deserve a break, that it's okay to slow down. But the real question is it okay to settle for less than what you know you can achieve? Is it okay to let the obstacles and the pain and the doubt stop you from becoming the person you were always meant to be? Because let's be clear, the life you want, the future you desire is on the other side of that resistance. It's on the other side of pushing through the limits you've set for yourself. It's on the other side of those mornings when you don't feel like getting out of bed, but you do it anyway. It's on the other side of the sacrifice, the doubt, the failure, the point where you almost give up but don't. What separates the successful from the average is their refusal to accept failure as the final answer. They fail and rise again. They fall and get back up again and again. They push through the pain and find strength they didn't know they had. They've trained themselves to push harder than anyone else around them. They aren't waiting for the right moment. They are creating the right moment. They are creating the right moment. They are building their success with each step they take, no matter how small. And the hardest part is this. Nobody's going to hand you that success. Nobody will show up to give you the prize. It's earned through relentless effort. It's earned when you decide that your dream is worth everything. And here's the truth. If you want it bad enough, you'll push through anything. Not when it's easy. Not when the road is clear. But when it's dark. When the doubts come crashing in. When the pain feels unbearable. That is when you show up. That is when you push harder. The world doesn't owe you anything. Your success isn't guaranteed. It's a battle you must fight every day. But I'll tell you this. If you push harder, you won't just win. You'll become someone unrecognizable. You'll become someone who's no longer bound by fear, doubt, or limitation. You'll become someone who looks at every challenge and says, "You're not going to stop me." Because when you push harder than anyone else, you don't just achieve your goals. You redefine what's possible. You go from hoping for success to becoming unstoppable. Now, it's time for you to choose. Yeah. Will you continue to settle for comfort, letting it keep you from the greatness you're destined for? Or will you make the decision, right here, right now, to step into the discomfort, the challenge, the grind, and push harder than you ever have before? You don't need permission. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. The only thing standing between you and the success you want is the willingness to go further, push harder, and refuse to stop when the world says you should. So, push harder, keep fighting, keep growing, keep pressing forward. And when you reach that peak, when you look back at all the miles you've traveled, you'll realize that the true victory wasn't just in the destination. It was in every moment you chose to push harder, even when it seemed impossible. Let's make it happen. You were born for this.